We're about to journey into what is being called pet format. Smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Now, before somebody goes, Robbie, we don't care about this YCS out of Cancun. There's a brand new ban list coming. Why do you want to talk about this? Because people want to see ideas and how formats are evolving, because this proved a lot of what we were talking about on this channel with... I've talked about Flaunderies for literal frickin' weeks on this channel, that we had seen an uptick in regional data with Flaunder. And you know what I'll read from my comment sections from people? Regional data doesn't matter, Robbie. It's irrelevant. But if the regional circuit is reporting that there is an uptick in a deck, a counter pick to a meta, if you will, and you kind of look around in the room and you're like, like this is pretty good, then you see abnormalities kind of start to unfold into the truth. And that's what this YCS tells me. This YCS tells me that people had lost a lot of faith in Flaunderies over time. Even if there's successful data to back it up, people will still feign ignorance towards that. So that is the first thing I wanted to point out here on the entire pie chart is, yes, Flaunderies won. Now, why did I mention the pet format? Because, Unchained, purely, and then, Flaunderies. Get it? Yeah. But if you're looking at, how this YCS went overall, and, Flounder ended up winning the event, well, that's really good. Deck's gotten solidly more easy to handle things. I've told you guys for weeks that M-Pen's a stupid card. And it just amazes me that people, just look at this and like, now, did I believe in M-Pen being able to win consistently? No, I've said you could get your invite with it easily. Now, you can get a top 16, no problem with the deck. As long as you've had a little bit of practice, should be easy. All right, if you've sat here and you've spent all this time, trying to grind into a top 8, it's going to be a little bit more work. And here we have the inevitable. It's all paid off for the first place. So the rest of your top cut here, or the whole top cut itself. We had 8 Kashtira decks in top cut. Scratch that, doesn't matter. I don't have to ever see this deck again, because they're not going to have Diabolsis where they could have had. Yeah, no, we'll worry about that. Now we had 7 Unchained, coming off of the last YCS with this deck being the terminal crazy hot pile of amazingness. And you look at this event and you're like, what happened here? What happened? Well, problem is, it didn't even make it to the finals, which I think is amazing. Now, there were 3 Flaunderies. Once again, I've already said my piece about Flaunder for this video. Now, what's kind of interesting about this here is we had 2 Mana Diem in the upper half of the meta here. Mana Diem's been a little bit hit or miss. I'm actually hoping after the next set that will have some sort of refresh back to Mana Diem, because the deck is Calamities Turbo. I think I could have done better on the list to clean up Calamities, because that's a problem, in and itself right now. But we've dodged that particular side of things. So we'll have to wait and see. I think there is potential for this, but okay. Purely's draw potential combo is about to get way nuttier. I am super excited to see people get upsetty spaghetti after you see this draw combo, draw 6 cards. There's going to be a lot of people quitting the game because Konami went, draw 6 combo? No, purely players don't do that. That's really bad. We're going to be literal frickin' idiots. And we're going to dodge the fact that the deck draws 6 cards. Yeah, who would have guessed? A Towers monster that just play the alpha. I've had 6 cards in my hand. You out of it? I guess I'll make another one. Thanks for burning everything. There are actually things we have to worry about, by the way. You had 2 branded players. I don't know what you might say about that. That's pretty normal at this point. We also had 2 Rescue Ace, which actually I believe the finals were what? Rescue Ace versus Flaunder? I feel like that's a really interesting matchup in and itself, just all things considered, right? And then your one-ups here. So we had a Chimera deck. You guys remember when Chimera was running the format? I remember. Back in my day, it was not even a month ago that we saw Chimera doing its thing. It's amazing. We had a dinosaur player. I thought those were all extinct. We also had one Dragon Link. Wow, Dragon Link did not have a fun time here. That's interesting. I also had one Mathmech and one Rika Sun Avalon out of this. So, final thoughts at least on this. I know people are going to discredit this and be like, I no longer care, new format coming, but the numbers are very interesting. You're already seeing meta shifts very heavily in certain sectors, and the fact that, you know, we do have the new list, I'm definitely expecting some things. Kong's Cards just ran a 90-plus man tournament for Age of Overlord on new list over the weekend. So if you do want to see me put that data together and get that up later in the week, please, you know, obviously like the video, leave a comment down below and tell me you want to see that, and I'll see what I can do about getting that together. As I'm filming this, I just got back. Like, I've been here for maybe 20 minutes, so I have to play catch up with all of this data and see everything. But Flounder won. I actually really like that. Let's pass on over to those top deck lists. But Robbie, they don't matter. Yes, they do. This is the first place list, and the first thing I'm going to hear somebody goes, well, you know, it's new format, Robbie. Maybe I don't want to play books anymore, you know? Somebody give me a new Flounderies list. You just go build the old one here. Yeah, you have a couple of things changing, obviously, but I mean, you're still going to have the tech choice down here to beat the good stuff. You might not get as much crazy value off of the thrust and the, you know, talents as you would have during the previous format, but I mean, like, that's okay. Shifter's still a dumb card. Like, there's nothing really to say about this. I think that this deck will get some free wins because Shifter's still scraping people off the side of the streets, unfortunately. Like, the resolution of this card's going to destroy people. And I mean, you know, we just got this on out of here. It's so good to see that this card is actually going. Also, let's be honest here for a second. Anytime the Harpy's Featherstorm is typically involved in these, you know, decks, this card alone ruins people's days. So that's something else you got to keep in mind here, is there is amazing power in this card. Alright, we had some Unchained back here. You know, for the amount of info that's actually kind of floating around out here, I have a feeling that you can pretty much one-to-one this going into the next format, minus maybe some of the power the Book of Eclipse is going to give you. But I do want to give a shout out to this. This has kind of turned out to be an up-and-coming tech choice as of late. And I think a lot more people are going to kind of maybe skip on this, or they're going to lose their minds a little bit, but this has been gaining a lot of market value right now. Like, you should not underestimate Ultimate Slayer right now. It's very apparent that there is something going on with this. So, as you're seeing in this list for Unchained, it was a very popular little side tech choice down here, especially with the Evil Twins. You gotta love the fact that you can Ultimate Slayer and drop this, and your opponent's suddenly like, well, you know, I really dislike you here. That's great. And then we had more Flounderies. Okay, so this build's playing the Pot of Extravagances with the Pot of Prosperities and the Dualities. Sweet craziness. I love the fact this deck just gets away with playing all this draw power. Also, 2 M-Pen versus the 3 that we saw on the other list. I still think the 3 is pretty freaking good. I would probably consider that. I see that our side deck down here is jam-packed hand traps, and we're even on the Ghost Reaper. I'll be honest with you, I understand why they want to play the Reaper. The Reaper definitely ensures that you're going to be able to take care of anything that you need to. Also, Reapering the big stupid cat so your opponent can't actually play the game. Yeah, they can do some other things, but if you actually hit this, okay, it's way easier. Also, shout out to actually having the triple evenly in the main deck. Yeah, especially when you can thrust on into it. Once again, I'm curious to see where this card's ability is going to settle as we head on into said new format. What else we got cooking back here? Hey, we got some books. We have some crossouts. Probably going to still continue to play this. I mean, as is, the card is pretty good. And once again, we see that's 2 lists with Ultimate Slayer in here. Maybe it's a good thing we looked at these lists. Maybe Ultimate Slayer kind of kicking up, going on into the new format. Maybe it'll be something you want to consider looking at out here. I can imagine Trouble Sunny and the Evil Twins here, seeing that resurgence of some sort of value. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I just wanted to report on this, take a look at the list very quickly and see how things are going. And I'm not surprised. Honestly, with how format has been, how things have kind of been stale. I think the Ultimate Slayer tech here is by far probably one of the most exciting things I've seen in a very long time. So, that's it. It's fantastic. What a YCS. Alright? Irrelevant Ingol 40! How dare you make a 10-minute video talking about this? I'm gonna dislike this video. How dare you? Knowledge is one of the most important things that you can get in this trading card game. Alright, and even if something is about to shift in a format, it's always important to keep an eye on things and see how things are going. That's my 2 cents. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.